What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we are going to be showing off 4 different teams that can take on this brand new Blitz battle, which is the higher difficulty version. And then what I would say is that if you can beat, the higher difficulty version, but your team doesn't have a lot of points, it's probably a wiser decision to actually run a fully boosted team, or as high boost as you can, but on the lower difficulty, because it will be easier and you can get a lot more runs in. So what you're seeing here is the full boosted team, and if you do have the full boosted team, it's obviously pretty straightforward, but of course we do have other teams that I want to talk about in this video today. Now, there are straight up replacements, 1-for-1, that you can use in this team composition. A lot of people said, what if you don't have Nami? If you don't have Nami, you can replace that with the Anniversary Sabo, who removes Special Bind. He actually works quite well. And then, like, for Robin, if you don't have Robin, you can replace her with the Anniversary Zoro Legend. That'll work just fine. And then for Usopp, it is a little bit more difficult because there aren't a lot of characters that can straight up remove a lot of attack down. I'd probably suggest running the Sai Sanji from the New Year's Sugo Fest. He's able to remove 5 turns of attack down, and then if you're able to put a support on your team that can remove attack down when you're inflicted with it, that would be probably the best way forward in order to get around this content, like 1-for-1 replacements for each of these units. Now, Oden and Toki, you don't actually really need them on this team. They're not really needed at all. They do help you get around some of the paralysis, but realistically, due to the switch effects of Luffy and Yamato removing their own paralysis, the rest of the crew only gets inflicted with 1 turn of it. So you could just go ahead and put a support that removes 1 turn of paralysis. It's, the best one would probably be, Legend Bato attaching to Robin that allows you to remove some of that paralysis when it is inflicted to you. And of course, Luffy and Yamato are like the best characters to be using in this content as the captains. And if you definitely have Luffy Yamato, it is the best way forward. They give you the most points, and the damage that they do is incredible. And something that is really annoying about this content is the fact that you really have to get the super swap on the final stage in order to make the team actually work. It's really, really dumb. It's due to the fact that there is intimidation from Kaido on the last stage, and due to the normal special of Luffy and Yamato only allowing the orb boost to last for 1 turn, the intimidation of Kaido removes that orb boost. So it's really frustrating. You really need the super swap in order to get that all done. And another thing is of course, with Luffy and Yamato special, the super swap being into the dual unit to get the dual special allows the increased damage taken to be inflicted to Kaido. So you really have to plan the team ahead in order to get that super swap on the final stage to get the buffed special of Luffy and Yamato. Moving on now to the second team. So this is in the situation if you have all the rare recruits, but you don't have the legends of like Oden and Toki and Luffy and Yamato. Now look, we could be here for hours talking about, oh, if you have X, Y, and Z, but you don't have this other unit, then you can build this team. I could be here for hours trying to do that. That's not my aim. I'm just trying to give you just a few different ideas, showing you what can work in this content. The new rare recruits are obviously very cool. We actually will have a team towards the end here that is going to have literally no new units at all, which is something that you can go ahead and explore. Now, this team is using Versus Yamato as the captain. If you don't have Luffy and Yamato, then Versus Yamato is going to be like the second best captain that you can use here. Obviously, she is a boosted unit, not as high boosted as Oden and Toki or Luffy Yamato, for example, but she's really nice because she just resists despair completely, which means that you don't always have to use the switch effect of Luffy and Yamato to remove that despair for you. So it does make things a little bit easier. Plus, the Versus Yamato special is really strong, giving you, all the slots and the attack boost and the % damage reduction based attack boost. So if you are able to get her Versus effect to get the damage reduction effect activated, that's even better. Alternatively, you could have a support that is able to generate a damage reduction effect so that you can actually get that damage increase from the Versus Yamato's special ability. So it's really, really cool that you can abuse a character such as that. Marco is on the team because he's one of the really high boosters. For some reason, I don't really understand why this Marco specifically out of everything is considered a really high booster. It is strange, but either way, we're using him on here because we can do that. Another thing as well is the fact that the Marco has a really cool crewmate ability that removes 1 turn of paralysis. So it actually does work really nice for the team. So the crewmates don't have to worry about the paralysis on the Olin stage. And another thing that's good about Marco is that Marco's special does provide damage reduction. It is an 80% damage reduction, which is pretty good. And it means that versus Yamato's effect to give you % damage reduction attack boost is able to be abused with the Marco special. So this team actually works pretty well. So if you have the rare recruits, but you don't have the new legends, this is a really solid team. Moving on now to the next team. This is a little bit of an obscure team, but you know, this is in the same situation as the previous scenario, but if you don't have versus Yamato or any of the new legends, then this is technically a team that you can use. I will say that this is probably not the most optimal team to get it done, but it does do it, honestly. And look, you can definitely optimize this team a little bit better. I was wrapping my head around trying to use this team on stream, and it was really, really strange, but it does ultimately work, but it is a little bizarre, because the thing is you really want the super swap of Ace and Yamato for Big Mom, but the big issue is every time you use that switch effect, you are ultimately, you know, doing the burn on the enemies. So on those mob stages on turns 1 and 2, you are killing them very quickly, so we are trying to get this switch every single turn to ensure that when we get to Olin, we can activate that super swap, which will enable you to get a ignited conditional boost from Ace and Yamato's special. We do have the Hiyori legend on the team. She's a boosted unit, which is great, and she gives you the Wano slots, and she does remove the despair for you, and she also heals you. So if you do happen to encounter King, which may be annoying due to his burn effect, then getting a really solid heal from Hiyori is kind of nice, all things considered. But, you know, when you reach stage 4, which is versus King, Queen, or Jack, the specials of the Nami and the Usopp are going to enable you to clear that stage no matter which variation. Just, you know, obviously use the right switches whenever you need them, and then the specials of Nami and Usopp deal with stage 4 by themselves, which is great. And then, of course, as we said, we're going to have the swap and the special of Ace and Yamato, and then obviously we're going to have Hiyori. Now, another thing that I haven't even mentioned in this video yet is the boss's type is fully dependent on what color your captain is when you enter the last stage. So if you enter the last stage with a strength captain, then Kaido is going to transform into a dex unit. However, on the flip side, if you enter with a dex captain, he's going to stay as a dex unit. So it means if you are using Luffy and Yamato, you really have to plan your team accordingly to ensure that you get the super swap, but you're also super swapping into the right character so you have type advantage. It's a really weird piece of content. I mean, it is very, very strange. But of course, if you have the badge, or if you at least have, you know, Luffy and Yamato available as a friend captain, which if you have a decent friends list, you're going to be finding plenty of Luffy and Yamatos, then, you know, you're going to have to try and abuse that and make sure you plan the team accordingly so you can get the type advantage when you reach the final stage. So this final team is if you have no new rare recruits and none of the new batch. So if you decided not to pull on the Anniversary Sugo Fest at all, or unfortunately you got really unlucky, then this is a team that will actually work helping you clear it. Now, this is what I was saying, is like, yes, this team does clear it, but I would advise if you have like the boosted units to legit just, you know, run the lower difficulty with higher point boosts, because I feel like it's going to be better in the long run for you. But then again, you do get better drops on the higher difficulty. You know, it is up to you at the end of the day. I just feel like the amount of effort that it takes to clear this kind of content with really obscure teams is a little strange. But anyways, with this team, the supports on this team are pretty useful, of course. We do have the Toadskii support to remove some attack down, so that in tandem with the Sanji special is really good. And you will see that we actually get kind of screwed over on stage 4 in terms of the way that we try and get that done. We really kind of screw that up. But due to the fact that the waifus have a healing special, which I completely forgot that they actually healed. I remember that they did a utility effect, and they also did color affinity, but I forgot that they did a really good heal, and that was the main reason why this team was able to get it done, which is nice. But overall, this is a really solid team that does clear it if you don't have any of the new units. And I want to give a huge shout out to Juan Galvan in our chat, who is the individual who did suggest this team to try out. So we gave it a shot, and it ended up working, which is pretty cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and good luck with your Blitz battle farming. And Sanji is debuting tomorrow, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But that is going to wrap it up for me. So if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Big time!